Welcome. I'm Buck Bowen, and this is The Interview with Mario the Maker Magician. Now, if you know Mario, you'll know that he's constantly on the road and always performing. So while he wasn't able to sit down for this interview, he was gracious enough to send his responses via video. Enjoy.
Mario the Maker Magician here with some amazing questions, and I'm here to answer. The main differences I see is you have someone who has a better show, a more dedicated show to a very specific audience. You have others who use a kid's show as a stepping stone and hopes to become something completely different that has nothing to do with kids. And for me, when I see a magic show that is in front of kids and a family audience, you can instantly tell the difference there. And that's the same with any field that you're in. You can instantly see the person who has a specific passion for what they're doing and someone who's doing it because it's a job. I think the reason is because it's a classic and it's easy and it lets you concentrate on your character. And I think if you're getting into magic and you're getting into doing especially kid shows, you darn right, you should get these classic things like the coloring book, like the stratosphere, like the hippity hop rabbits, like a good SpongeBob routine. Learn these things, see why so many magicians do them. But as time goes on, after a year or two, make your own coloring book, take the principles of the coloring book and adapt it into something that makes it you. Just like I tapped into the second question, it's the same thing. You take the marketed magic first and you obsess over it, the pattern, the jokes. Search YouTube for people that are performing the specific marketed trick that you have. Watch different styles of people perform that marketed trick. Understand why they work in certain ways. Take those principles and then make your own. If you ever see my show, you'll see it looks very abstract, robot lamps and robot monkeys, but they are all founded on core principles like the coloring book, like the stratosphere, like the hippity hop rabbits, because the only way we can learn are by the classics. And that goes for any art form, whether it's music, whether it's even acting, whether it's painting, whatever it is that you desire to do, that there is a way to become a master of it. Learn the classics first of that so that you can emulate and then you can create. The beats are much faster. I've done shows where I had all seniors in my show. They were all over 65. And when I got done with the show, guess what was the first thing they said to me as I'm walking out? Wow, are you on cocaine or something? Wow, that was really fast. Yes, there is a rhythm that is beating specifically for kids. And there is a rhythm that is beating specifically for all audiences, right? But there is a specific rhythm, especially if you're performing for kindergartners or below kindergartners, like preschool. That's a whole other rhythm between the ages of 2 and 4 years old. You'll find that it's a different show. From 4 to 11 years old, you'll find that that's a different show. And from 11 all the way to 18, good luck, because that's a different show. So that's the difference between a lot of kids magic. And then when you get past to over the 18-year-old, you'll have a show that goes from 18 to 118, I'm focusing on theater shows. Why? Because I've been doing this for almost 16, 17 years full-time with my wife, Katie, and we have a family now. The idea is always keep it fresh. I think it was the great Rocco that said, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. So don't ever get ripe. Keep being flexible in your show. Keep having something to chase after. What is your goal in the 3 years from now? What is it? What do you want to be? Take baby steps throughout. So for me, when I was doing birthday parties all week, every weekend, going crazy, it started getting old, and I started feeling it. I started understanding wow, this is not fun. And the kids and the parents started feeling it. When you get to that point, that's a scary point. You get new dreams and you keep building bigger. So for me, it's just part of the journey, It's that you care. That's the hallmark. Because it doesn't matter if you're doing a coloring book. But as you're doing the coloring book, if you see kids that are acting extraordinary, acting extra kindness, extra positively, you shout those kids out. You're teaching them as you're performing. You're being that kindergarten teacher, emphasizing these core principles of truth. That's what makes a good kids magician. Understanding that they are at such a delicate age that they need to be learning and understanding the purposes of forgiveness, of kindness, of giving, of sharing, adapting those things into your show. When I see a magician adapting those things into a kid's show and they do it wholeheartedly, that shows me, man, it doesn't matter if they're performing with a robot or a coloring book. They are tapping into gold kids magic. Yeah, because it sucks. Because kids will shout you out. If you're flashing a coin, they'll yell at you. Trust me. They'll throw shoes at you. They will literally stand up and grab your props and run away with them in the middle of a show. So yes, I can understand why people hate performing for kids. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You have to learn how to take this thing that seems scary and use it to your strength. So that's important to have big highs in your show and big lows. You're the conductor, not just the magician. Your job is to organize the rhythm throughout the show. So you have these high moments, and then right away, let me see who can sit crisscross applesauce behind the line in 3 seconds so I can pick an helper. 3, 2, 1. And you will watch those kids fly right back behind that line sitting crisscross applesauce, and you can continue with your show. So once you understand these core principles of teachings that kindergarten teachers and elementary school teachers do, it'll really help you understand how magical and rewarding kids magic is. The reason why it's so rewarding to me is because when you do it right, it's like a rock show and they're screaming and they're cheering. You're getting reactions that you'll never get from adults. And also my favorite thing is 5, 6 years later, hearing how your simple show impacted their life and their interests. And that's something that is more profound and more valuable than any kind of paper money I could ever have. Tap dancing. I guess is freedom. Okay. I think the ultimate goal in life, no matter what your trade is you want freedom of your time, that you can wake up and you can do whatever the hell you want. And how do we create that freedom? Is that the audience creates the performer. So if your dream is to be a performer, listen to your audience. When you stink, take notes. When you rock it, take notes. And those elements are little slivers in your show. They're within 8 seconds of a bit that you did, and they laughed extra hard. Remember what that bit is. Why did it work? How can I replicate that in other routines in a way? Really important. Listen to the audience so that you can get that freedom to get the gigs that you want. And listen, doesn't matter how big you climb up that ladder. You will always get crappy gigs. I don't care who you are. It's just the way we survive in this trade, that we get to do what we love for a living. So that means it's going to be hard sometimes. Don't be afraid to do a kid's show. Take your risks and reap the reward. It's one of the best experiences you can have when you get it right.